Hello everyone. I'm so sorry I haven't been around for a few days. Wow, I don't know about you, but the energy at the moment is just pretty chaotic and very intense. So I needed to just take a step back and look after my own energy for a few days. And I was sitting just now having a chat with Spirit, and I asked, what is the one book that I could share with you today that would be really relevant for where we are at the moment? And I went to my bookshelf, and the book that really just stood out for me, it's the way it works with me, my intuition just guides me at every moment, but the book that really caught my eye and I realized was for me a foundational book that truly kick-started my spiritual journey. And it was, now I'm sorry that you are seeing this like a mirror image. I'm afraid it's the only way it shows up on the video, but I will put a link below. It's the book, this is the experiential guide, but there's a whole series of books entitled the Celestine Prophecy. And this is a very old book. I was given it to read in, 1996 when I went to the UK. I went to work, actually went sailing, and I got to know a very lovely young woman at the place that I was temping. And she asked me one day, have you ever read the Celestine Prophecy? So I said, what's that? And, oh my goodness, you haven't read it. I'll bring you a copy tomorrow, which she duly did. And I was absolutely hooked. I was completely enthralled with what I was reading. And it finally was a puzzle piece that I had been searching for the longest time. Now, this book talks all about energy, how every life form in the planet, not only humans, but animals, plants, every life form on the planet vibrates at a particular frequency and has an energy signature. Now, that energy signature fluctuates all the time depending on what's going on around us, how what's happening is impacting us, how we are reacting or responding to things, to situations, to people, to our own thoughts, our feelings. Everything is energy. And within that framework is something called synchronicity. Now, the first book of the series, the Celestine Prophecy, it's written almost as a story, kind of a parable, if you like, and it takes our hero on a journey where he starts learning for the first time about energy and how we are all interconnected and how our personal energy can directly affect every life form that we come into contact with. And by focusing on our energy, keeping ourselves in balance, not overreacting to certain situations, not falling into control dramas, particularly in relationships where we unconsciously try to control the other person. And by doing that, we start draining their energy. We have to be very vigilant how we use our energy, and what we are sending out is affecting everything and everyone we come into contact with. Now, that's what this book talks about. It's about learning to manage, being conscious, being aware of how we show up in the world, how we respond to our own intuitive prompts. And when synchronicity is trying to show us something, how we show up in that moment. Do we see that synchronicity? Do we understand it for what it is? Or do we go into resistance and anger and wanting to control outcomes? Or are we able to see the synchronicity and say, aha, this is a clue. I need to follow this clue because it will take me to the best outcome. So that is this book in a nutshell. I really would recommend it. I would recommend starting with the first book, which is simply called The Celestine Prophecy, and it's written by James Redfield. There is a 9th, a 10th, and an 11th insight, which is a sequel, if you like, sequels to the initial book. But if you are in a position where you really want to understand your place in the world from an energetic point of view, I would highly recommend this series. So thank you for allowing me to share this moment with you, and I hope your week becomes smoother and positive and brings you all that you wish for. Blessings and love, blessings and love.